We just got a fresh advanced server update, and this one includes an insane buff for Marcel, a big buff for dominant size, and marksman-wide stat adjustments. First, let's talk about the stat adjustments for Marksman. As you can see on the screen, these heroes receive changes to their base HP, HP growth, and physical defense. The main idea is actually pretty simple. According to the devs, they've reduced the base durability of strong early game laners. Meanwhile, heroes with late game range or strong self-protection had their durability growth reduced. On the other hand, marksmen who are weaker in these areas receive buffs to help improve overall balance. So instead of looking at this as a direct buff or nerf, it's better to think of it as the devs redistributing durability across the gold lane pool. In short, the goal here is to make the overall marksman roster feel more balanced against each other. Next, let's talk about the movement speed changes. The biggest nerf here is definitely Beatrix. She took the hardest hit with a -12 movement speed. This is something Beatrix players will definitely feel in actual games. Brody and 1-1 also receive movement speed nerfs. -3 on Brody, while 1-1 doesn't really need it if you're jumping around with her passive, right? Meanwhile, on the buff side, Bruno, Clint, and Leslie all got a movement speed increase. All of them received +5 movement speed. Layla, Mia, and Ixia also got buffed. These three received a whopping +10 points of movement speed. This gives more freedom when it comes to positioning. So while marksmen are becoming easier to catch, others are clearly being given better mobility to help them perform in lane. Now let's move on to individual changes. For Beatrix, the big change is on her passive. She now gains extra spell vamp equal to 100% of her lifesteal. So if you build lifesteal on Beatrix, you also get the same amount of spell vamp. That means her sustain becomes much stronger overall, especially since Beatrix uses both basic attacks and skill damage a lot. So even though she took a huge movement speed nerf earlier, this new passive could help make up for it with better healing. Beerot got one of the biggest gameplay buffs in this patch. First, his passive now lets him recover 2 to 5% rage per second, scaling with level. That's a very nice quality of life change because now you don't need to attack an enemy just to collect stacks. It automatically regenerates by itself. Then, skill 1 got buffed. Its base damage is higher now, and although the early cooldown is slightly longer, it becomes better later on. Meanwhile, skill 2 was adjusted to a flat 6-second cooldown on all levels. The dev said they wanted to shift his main skill to skill 1 while making his rage management much easier. Hanzo also got a very interesting adjustment. The dev said they want to improve his early to mid game burst while slightly weakening some of his other features. His skill 1 in ultimate form no longer deals damage to nearby units, so that extra splash is gone. But in exchange, his skill 2 in ultimate form gets a massive buff. The initial damage when knocking enemies airborne was heavily increased. So this is a clear trade. Less extra damage around the target, but much stronger direct burst. For Irtal, the main skill adjustment is on skill 1. Its cooldown is no longer fixed at 10 seconds. Now it goes up from 10 to 7 seconds as you level it up. That means more frequent poke and better uptime overall. Ixia also got a direct buff. Her skill 1 now has higher base damage in the early levels. So this gives her stronger poke earlier in the game. It's a simple buff but definitely a useful one. And now for the craziest buff in this patch, Marcel. His ultimate got optimized with slightly reduced force swing time, which already makes it smoother. But the real huge change is this. Allies that gain shield will no longer be affected by golden arm. Yes, watch this. That means if you're near Marcel and then he uses his ultimate, you can actually go inside that zone and attack enemies freely. Honestly, this looks very powerful. Borderline broken. You can easily wipe out a team with this feature if your allies are ready to follow up. Man, I really think this one is too strong. Rafaela's change is more of a quality of life update. Her resurrection skill can no longer be tapped when unavailable, and the death info of other players is now shown around the button when it's available. So this is not really a buff or a nerf. It's more of a cleaner interface update. Dominant Size got a big buff. Both Fortress Shield and Life Bane now have a much larger effect range, going from 3.5 to 5. That's a huge increase. So for tank users, this makes Dominant Size much easier to apply in actual fights. A very nice buff overall. As for Roaming Blessings, the devs are pulling back some of the changes from last week. After letting all Roaming Blessings gain EXP and gold through damage, vision, and shared income, rumors were progressing way too fast. So now they're reverting part of those adjustments. And finally, the Marksman emblem got buffed. Its adaptive penetration goes from 5 to now 10%. That's a pretty noticeable increase. With this change, a lot of marksmen may have more flexibility in their item builds. Some of them might even skip certain penetration items and build something else instead. So overall, this patch is looking good for Marcel, Hanzo, and the Dominant Size. Will you start using the Marksman emblem after this update? Are you ready to ban Marcel? Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you for watching.